Mike Bobo, for the first time, finds himself on an opposing sideline against his alma mater in somewhat unexpected dynamic. Came in to be the play caller, offensive coordinator under Will Muschamp, finds himself in an interim head coaching position now, but two players that have now become two head coaches that know each other very well in two programs that recruit against one another, and that defeat last year that South Carolina dealt Georgia has reheated this rivalry.
Georgia's going to get the football first, and Mike Bobo had a great performance against Georgia, or South Carolina rather, 25 years ago. The only guy that's had a better one was the guy that's starting at quarterback tonight in his SEC opener, and that's JT Daniels. We'll see the football in just a moment as the Gamecocks get ready to kick it deep. Mitch Jeter kicking it to that man, Kyrus Jackson. A beautiful night for football here in the Palmetto State. Temperature in the high 50s. Big cold front coming this way tomorrow, but a perfect night for some fall football. Short kick by Jeter, and it goes out of bounds. And the kickoff specialist will give Georgia good field position to start the game.
For the Gamecocks, they're going to hit some shots downfield on offense and generate takeaways defensively.
Fakes the toss, and across the middle, wide open is Trey McKitty, the tight end inside the 20, and wrestled out of bounds near the 10-yard line.
A position that fans have been clamoring for around the Georgia program. Get the ball to the tight ends. Trey McKitty, transfer, quick shot, and already JT Daniels starting off hot.
James Cook in the game, quick pass, caught, McKitty to the goal line, marked out inside the 1. Jalen Foster pushed him out.
You can see they were trying to get a little bit of a rub there, and looks to me like McKitty had that ball inside the pylon before he would have been out of bounds.
As the runner was short of the goal line. The previous play is under further review.
It's Alex Moore, tonight's referee, and you see Kirby Smart think he's in the end zone. Mitchell Wilkins, our replay official, will talk to Alex.
After review, the ruling is a touchdown.
And that is McKitty's first touchdown as a Georgia Bulldog.
Guys, we've talked about quarterback shuffles for Georgia. The same is the case for South Carolina. Tonight it'll be the freshman Luke Doty making his first start after playing the last half of the game last week against Mizzou, and he really gave this Gamecocks offense a spark that they've been looking for all season. He can run it, he can throw it, he gives them a ability to take off and run. It helps that he's built like a Mack truck too. His teammates impressed but not surprised with his leadership. Just a week ago, offensive lineman Sedarius Hutcherson says he always walks around with a ton of energy, constantly high-fiving everyone. Mike Bobo said they used to have Positive Thursday in the building, which eventually was renamed to Doty Thursday because of his infectious positive attitude. And I can tell you, when he ran out of the tunnel tonight, he ran straight to the student section to get his guys hyped up.
I love it. Luke Doty Thursday is what's it called because of the guy's attitude. He's already got a smile on his face, and I got positive news for the Gamecocks, Alyssa. Offsides on Georgia. Re-kick.
See if you can improve that starting field position. We saw Doty there on the sideline with most accomplished quarterback here in the South Carolina football program, Connor Shaw, now an on-the-field coach for the Gamecocks. It was interesting talking to those South Carolina coaches. They said they kind of remind them a little bit of Connor Shaw.
It's an even better kick than the first one, and this will give South Carolina the ball at the 25 instead of the 15.
With that clock still running, and just put on what? Another 12 seconds on the clock.
I was saying most important Gamecock, there he is, Kevin Harris, and he's met immediately by Azeez Ojulari off of the edge. Harris has been one of the best tailbacks in the SEC this season, as he is second in the SEC with 109 yards per game.
Yep.
3rd and 7 for Doty, ready to throw for the first time. Doesn't see anything downfield, and he takes the sack It's a quick 3 and out for the Gamecocks. Jalen Carter making the tackle. Dogs fans everywhere are saying, hallelujah, we found our quarterback.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing they did, because that running game evaporated last week. They needed all 4 of those touchdowns to come away with a victory over Mississippi State.
Straight ahead running for Zamir White.
Wow.
And look at that push from that Georgia offensive line. I think a lot of people, Stinch, were wondering how come they didn't see JT Daniels earlier than last weekend. But just remember, this is as Daniels hands off here to White and getting that big push. Remember that Daniels had that knee injury and then had to have a second surgery, and he wasn't under the supervision of USC or Georgia when he had that knee repaired.
It was just kind of floating out there, and obviously it delayed his confidence in that repaired knee.
James Cook on the handoff, first down run, and he's into Gamecocks territory, pushed out of bounds inside the 35-yard line.
Showed his speed there on that kick.
44 yards for him on that play. Looks like some sort of confusion in the backfield, and the Gamecocks make them pay as Jalen Dickerson and Rodriguez Fitton come around the edge. Big loss.
Well, South Carolina felt as if they could get some pressure. That time, you're running a heavy play action. And Justin Schaefer pulls from left guard, doesn't block anybody. Gets over there to the right side of the offensive front and allows Fitton to just slip his block and get upfield. As you mentioned, they also brought second-level pressure.
It's a loss of 6 on the play. Daniels will try the right sideline, and that is caught by George Pickens. Incredible catch on a one-on-one ball over John Dixon.
South Carolina's down some cornerbacks. A couple of guys opting out. JT Daniels throwing at John Dixon. And George Pickens, in his first game back last week, had 8 catches. Goes up. He's so competitive in the air. Great job of shielding the ball away from the defender with his body, high pointing it, and fighting it all the way to the ground.
Nobody can question his talent. This is Kenny McIntosh, and McIntosh will get maybe a yard. The defense, as you mentioned, Stench, is a mash unit. They've had all sorts of injuries and opt-outs to deal with, health issues that every team has gone through. You don't see Keir Thomas, Jabari Ellis, or J.J. Enikbari tonight out there on that defensive line.
And you're talking about, of the 12 sacks, the negative yardage type plays, that's 9.5 of your best pass rushers. 9.5 sacks that aren't represented on the field today.
Daniels throws again to Pickens, and George will get inside the 10, down near the 8, where he's tackled by Jalen Foster. He missed Pickens, the Kentucky and the Florida game back last week, and had a big one against Mississippi State.
Well, Todd Monken talked about him. He's a really talented kid, the guy that they want to continue to develop more consistency. He said you can't just run go routes and hitches. Something that he's going to refine those routes better. Looked like, I thought Pickens picked up the yardage needed instead of 3rd and short.
The give to White. White inside the 8, down near the 7, 1st and goal, Georgia. 2nd and goal, Georgia. From the 6-yard line, James Cook is back in the game. And this is a toss to Cook. Easy around the left side. Touchdown. He's learning how to be a tailback. He is one heck of an athlete.
He's definitely got this run play down. As you see, once again, a couple of fold schemes, pin and pull at the point of attack, where you create angles, get down blocks, and then you pull big bodies out in front, just like the long run that Cook hit earlier, this time to the left side of the formation, again into the boundary, and that time ending in the end zone.
Podlesny with the extra point. 9 plays, 82 yards. And a bunch of people looking like Matt Stinchcomb pushing James Cook into the end zone. All Georgia Bulldogs in the first.
If we see any downfield throws.
Under center goes Doty. in trouble, tries to throw it back to Harris, but he's under heavy pressure in the backfield, and that is Jalen Carter forcing the 4th down.
Good looking beard.
Starting tomorrow for the Jets. Tua's thumb is banged up. This is a handoff to McIntosh, and McIntosh has the 1st down as Zapile carries him past the 45-yard line. Boy, Georgia just going right at that South Carolina front. That's 13 more.
A split zone. Watch Trey McKinney on the backside. Nice push. Nice push right at the point of attack. Unsurprising. We talked about it coming into this one. Kind of a skeleton crew defensively for South Carolina, and Georgia certainly taking advantage of that. Some strong runs, some nice holes on the inside.
McIntosh again with wide open space in front of him. Cuts it back inside the 25, down near the 20 before he's finally tackled. Big gain for the sophomore from Fort Lauderdale. White out, McIntosh out, White back in. And here's Zamir. And look how wide open that space is. Just the easiest touchdown you'll ever see. 22 yards for Zamir White. Doty, little trickeration back to Doty. Down the field, caught inside the 20-yard line. It's Nick Muse, the tight end.
And why not? You hadn't done much offensively. Handoff, fake reverse, flea flicker to your second leading, at least available receiver, and Nick Muse, tight end.
Now to the ground in Harris. And Harris shoves Eric Stokes after a pickup of a few. That was a 35-yard play that put them in this position.
We talked about it at the top. The keys, get a takeaway defensively. Hadn't seen that, but you got to take shots on offense, and now they're in the red zone.
Quick throw, it's Brooks with Muse blocking in front. 1st and goal, Gamecocks.
Great job by Brooks, breaking that first tackle. Not always a good idea to go up high on number 20.
Doty keeps it himself. Try the edge to the pylon. Marked out short of the goal line.
Dangerous there at the end of the run as Monty Rice was able to race Doty to that corner of the end zone in the pylon as the quarter expires. What an answer in this drive offensively for South Carolina.
Short of the goal line. That is the end of the 1st quarter.
We'll see if they take another look at this. Kirby Smart's offense was fantastic in the first frame, gashing South Carolina play-by-play down the field. The Gamecocks are on the doorstep at the end of one here at Williams-Brice Stadium. Luke Doty trying to give the Gamecocks some points.
Full house backfield.
And the give goes to Harris easily into the end zone, following those 2 fullbacks. Adam Prentice and Javon Gwynn both lined up in the backfield.
They lined up in this formation last week. You move Sadarius Hutcherson over to the right side, bring in an extra lineman, and allow Javon Gwynn to be a lead blocker. Thought to be the strongest player on the South Carolina roster.
Now Daniels back on offense. Play action. He wants to load up, throwing the deep ball. Underthrows Jermaine Burton, who was wide open.
Alert the back out of the backfield. You got James Cook in there as well.
Daniels with all kinds of time. Takes too much time and finally is sacked by Zach Pickens.
That's a bad play by JT Daniels. Not only do you flush right into this rush, Warren McClendon, the pocket is not, you don't have to escape right there. and you actually had James Cook get rid of the football. Give your running back with the ball in space a chance to make a play. He wanted more, pulls it down, and Pickens with a big sack and a negative yardage play.
Jake Camarda with a booming punt. He's only had 2 returned all season because he puts them so high in the sky.
And run a sweep opposite. Everything stacks up and adds up to something else.
Fake to Harris. Doty steps up, throws a one-on-one ball to Muse, and here comes the flag. That's Lewis Seen. Kirby Smart doesn't like it.
They ran heavy play action, and Javon Gwynn got all tripped up.
Pass interference, defense number 16. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot with an automatic first down.
So you got a matchup with Nick Muse covered by a safety. I don't see PI there. That looks like a well-played ball in the air by Seen. And the ball's really high. Both of them are going up for it. I don't see where there could have been a PI. It's probably, obviously, oftentimes you see coaches who are on the receiving end of those penalties argue against it. That time it looked like it was warranted. Regardless, PI giving them a fresh set of downs and picking up a free 15.
At the 40-yard line, back to Harris again. Kevin, first down run into Georgia territory. Amos still in the game, and it's a design quarterback run for Doty, and he's tripped up in the backfield as Zion Logue and Malik Herring got an arm on him.
Then you add in a running quarterback.
2nd and 15 now. Doty underneath, wise throw to Harris. Gets something out of nothing past the original line of scrimmage. Tackled by Rice.
Doty narrowly getting that football off. Georgia, the best team at pressuring the passer in the Southeastern Conference, and this is an obvious passing down.
Underneath, Harris, breaking tackles, first down.
Well, there it is. It was meet me at the quarterback for the Georgia defense. Doty stands in, checks it down to his back. Poor tackling. Nazir Stackhouse just sliding off of Kevin Harris, who battles his way to the first down.
Amos back into the game, trying the right side, and he'll get a few.
Had 54 catches for the Gamecock offense.
Amos again, this won't work. That's a loss on the play as Quay Walker comes in there to make the tackle. It'll be third down. South Carolina is going to be a run-first team, but as you said, this is another obvious passing down, another underneath throw, and it's incomplete into traffic looking for Josh Vann. It's fourth down.
Could have had a chance on that one, and Doty was high with the ball.
Parker White to try this 40-yard field goal to make it an 11-point game. Fifth-year senior from Mount Pleasant. He's had an outstanding career. He's got one heck of a leg. 21-10 is the score between these old SEC rivals in Williams-Brice Stadium. Sticking on the ground, easy first down for James Cook. He did step out of bounds at the 32-yard line. All 3 of the Georgia tailbacks being used on this possession. Talent is not the issue. It's learning how to play the position fully. How about James Cook? Nobody touches him. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
I don't know that James Cook has to deviate at all. He runs right down the hash. There's just nobody there. It's a great job along the line of scrimmage repeatedly. The Georgia front creating enormous holes for these running backs to run through.
29-yard run to the end zone. And after the Gamecocks had scored 10 unanswered, Offensive coordinator Todd Monken goes to the ground 6 of 7 times on the drive, culminating with the touchdown run by the junior from Miami. All Georgia in the first half.
Wearing Brian Edwards, record-setting receiver, his number.
What a career he had. Doty hands it to Harris, and Harris looks like he's short. He is half a yard short. It's 4th down. Now, I know that Coach Bobo wants to be aggressive tonight. It's 28-10. South Carolina only has 2 wins on the season, and he said, we're going to go for it a bunch tonight. Does he do it in the first half with half a yard to go on his own 34-yard line?
When we're talking with Kirby Smart, we're saying, what's it like coaching opposite a situation like this? Coaches in an interim status. We're saying, look, what do we got to lose? We rolled the dice here. You're at 4th and what? Not even a foot. We didn't see him come out and measure.
He's going to call timeout and think about it here. We'll see what he decides in just a moment. Gamecocks are going for it on their own 34-yard line in the first half. Down 28-10. Mike Bobo figuring this is the only way he can beat his alma mater. Playing keep away. Hands to Harris. No way. Not even close. To Harris with the second effort.
Wow.
There was never a whistle. The Dogs gave up on the tackle, and Harris got it.
He was stopped, except he wasn't. Look at this penetration. Ojulari just slides right down. Didn't play Luke Doty at all on the keep, which is what they were counting on. What an effort by Kevin Harris.
It sure was. Harris gets maybe a yard on the next play. Ojulari and Monty Rice both came in there, and Harris slips out of Ojulari's hands to give the Gamecocks new life. And South Carolina does get the football first in the second half. So there's a real chance Georgia doesn't see the ball again if South Carolina can continue this drive.
Back-to-back possessions is what you're trying to get, and also deny the other team's offense a chance at your own end zone again.
Underneath throw to Harris as they continue to get it to their best playmaker. And Harris tackled in space by Tyreek Stevenson. It'll be 3rd down, clock still running. 3rd and 4. Gamecocks just 2 of 6 on this play tonight. Doty slips a tackle, gets out of bounds up at the 46-yard line. That's enough for a first down. First down, now Amos in the backfield. Doty in trouble, gets rid of it right at the last second, and Rashad gets past midfield. Boy, Doty took a hit from 2 Georgia defenders.
He doesn't lack for courage. That's a couple of times where he's gotten sandwiched in the backfield. Checked it down again. They were trying to get it to Jalen Brooks over the middle. Couldn't get it downfield. And yeah, he gets grilled once again. Jermaine Johnson low in the boom.
This is Muse, first down Gamecocks, out of bounds inside the 40.
We were saying they wanted to get the ball more to Nick Muse. They have to. No Shi Smith. He is their most reliable receiving option. It's come up big a couple of times.
Continuing to go quick and just taking what the defense gives Doty. All these underneath throws. South Carolina is so limited by downfield receivers due to opt-outs and injuries. So instead, use the tight end, use your backs out of the backfield. Doty's done a good job of that so far tonight. 10 of 12 passing here in the first half. Under pressure, and he's tackled down near the 30 at the 31-yard line. Timeout, Gamecocks with 49 seconds left.
It's about some of those challenges that Georgia has, certainly defensively, preparing for Mississippi State one week, then South Carolina the next week. Not a lot of sample size from Luke Doty, just that second half against Missouri. Kirby Smart said they had to pull his high school tape to prepare for him.
From the 31-yard line on 3rd and 2, he's going to be tackled short of the line to gain. He was trying to take it himself, but gets tackled by Nolan Smith.
I'm surprised the flag didn't come out right there. Well, one of two things happened, because South Carolina moved early along the offensive front, but only after Georgia did this defensive line shift, something that they always do. But there was definitely movement before the snap.
Now, Parker White's got plenty of leg to get it there, but this would be a career long. 53 yards. And he hooked it too much. Say that about 5 times around.
That's right.
Well, 25 seconds to go. Georgia does have 2 timeouts, and they're throwing the football. Burton, first down, up past the 45 to the 46 with 17 seconds left. 1 timeout in 17 seconds. Daniels to the sideline, and that's caught down at the 30-yard line. Oh, it's picked off now. How in the world did Jamie Robinson end up with that football?
Jamie Robinson.
The ball sailed a little bit, but you see the shot that Kearis Jackson took.
Well, that's how.
What a great play.
How about that?
Jalen Foster was the one that jarred it loose, and it ends up in Jamie Robinson's hands.
Oh, Doty from his own 30-yard line with only 9 seconds to go in the half. Under pressure and sacked very quickly by Ojulari to end the half. So Azeez Ojulari with 5.5 sacks now on the season to end the first half as Georgia takes a 28-10 break into the locker room. Coming up, it's the Regions Halftime Report with Dari Noka and Gene Chisholm.
And Sterling, Brad Johnson, and Agbury. I mean, some really good football players.
Gamecocks will get it first, Alyssa.
Hey guys, I just caught up with Gamecocks coach Mike Bobo and talked to him about what he said to the team at halftime. He said defensively, we've got to get more guys to the ball. We have got to stop the success they're having running it. I asked him how impressed he was with Luke Doty in the first half. He said he's been impressed with his poise and what he's been able to do in the pocket, but he also reminded the offense that they're not going to win this game on one play. They need to be consistently better across the board.
See if they're able to do that here on this first possession with Doty, who was very good with intermediate throws, 11 of 13 for 104 yards, back to the ground. Somehow Harris trying to fight off Monty Rice, unable to do it.
To have a chance here in the second half.
Doty fakes it to Harris, now throws it behind him. That's a backwards pass, and it'll be marked out of bounds back at the 17-yard line. That's a disastrous play. 3rd and 18 for an offense that really doesn't like to throw the football much, and there's no place to go as Jermaine Johnson gets the sack. A quick 3 and out for Kirby Smart and Dan Lanning's defense.
A lot of youth on that series from Luke Doty. As we talked about what Alyssa was sharing, Mike Bobo was impressed by his poise. At that time, a poor decision that marred that possession, and Georgia with a chance to get the ball near midfield.
Ty Kroger, in fact, is standing in his own end zone. Kearis Jackson, after a great punt, will take it near the 35. He's got daylight. Watch out here. He's got Kroger to beat. Cuts it back, and Kroger saves the touchdown inside the 15.
A booming punt from Kroger. Excellent return set up for Kearis Jackson. He kept it simple. Just get upfield. Don't dance. Pick up yardage right now. He runs right down the numbers. If it weren't for Kroger, he ends up in the end zone as it is. Disastrous way to open up this second half. You get a negative yardage play, sets up a 3rd and forever. An excellent punt return. And Georgia gets their first possession of the second half inside the red zone.
Outkick the coverage. 52-yard punt, 51-yard return. And it's McIntosh eluding the tackle, cutting it back to the middle of the field, and he's inside the 10. Quickly to Alyssa.
Trying to play the run in the box.
White right at him. Touchdown. They waited to see where the pile was, and it was clear it's another Zamir White score. Georgia with its most rushing yards of the season, eclipsing the total they had at Kentucky, and they do it with 11:38 to go in the third quarter.
It's just inside zone, and you see the push repeatedly. We've hit it. MJ Webb was finally able to try to get on top of Zamir White, but not before he'd gotten enough momentum going downhill to get in the end zone. Standard from a yardage seeded standpoint, especially last week on the third downs.
Harris, gosh, he runs hard and makes another man miss, as he could have been tackled after a minimal gain. Christopher Smith had a hand on him, but Harris so hard to bring down. Doty's under pressure, and he goes down again. Sack made by Channing Tindall.
It just shows the speed of this Georgia defense. Last week, Luke Doty was dancing all over the football field versus Missouri. Channing Tindall, of course, has a full head of steam as he's coming off of that play fake. Didn't bite on it enough, and they were counting on it.
That's a local kid, too, from here in Columbia. Channing Tindall comes back, playing for Georgia, and gets the sack. And now under pressure again, ball's out, and diving on it is Dylan Wanham. Ojulari with the pressure.
And Azeez Ojulari, really good football player. He was actually squeezing from the opposite side, and Adam Anderson able to come up and under Wanham. Luke Doty having a tough start to the second half.
Georgia defense has stepped it up. Kirby Smart said at the break, got to tackle better, got to get off the field. They have done just that. All dogs tonight.
Georgia's enjoyed pretty good starting field position. They've averaged their own 39 to start drives.
Loading up is Daniels, and he finds Burton open inside the 45-yard line down to the 41.
Quieter night relative to what we saw last Saturday.
Yeah, it hasn't had to tonight. Just 8 of 11 passing as they go back to McIntosh, eluding the tacklers. Looked like he almost took a face mask there, and McIntosh is down at the 35-yard line. Daniels, this is a completely different game plan than the one that he used against Mississippi State.
Yeah, he is not as essential as he was. The running backs have been. And McIntosh kind of channeling his inner Kevin Harris.
McIntosh, without any problem, moves the chains inside the 30. Damani Staley makes the tackle. Again, South Carolina at a massive disadvantage on their defensive front. J.J. Enagbare and Keir Thomas both out tonight. And Georgia pushing the pile play after play. This is a sideline throw to Jackson for a few.
He jumped in their tempo a little bit there. Was the long handoff. Look at the blocking out in front. Richard Robertson, that ball a little bit behind Kearis Jackson. A long way to travel. He was headed back towards the line of scrimmage by the time he made the catch.
Dajon Edwards, the true freshman, into the game, and he's the 4th different tailback to touch the football tonight, and he's down near the 20, where it'll be 3rd and short.
Edwards coming in there as Georgia's quick to the line once again. Quick to line up, looking to snap it quick on the 3rd and short.
Edwards, first down inside the 15.
It hadn't mattered, really, who's getting the handoffs in the ground game tonight. Georgia's done such a good job of opening holes for the running backs.
And how about this hole? Edwards, touchdown. There is a flag down.
Illegal formation, more than 4 players in the offensive backfield. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
I can see Kearis Jackson, who's kind of over there pleading his case after the fact. As you see Kirby Smart lamenting the penalty to negate a touchdown. Look at the bottom of the screen. And as they're saying, we're off the line of scrimmage right there. Otherwise,
here's Kaba, the true freshman from Clinton, North Carolina.
top 4 at number 5 in the country.
Daniels takes a shot, and that was dangerous. Almost picked off by Shiloh Sanders. Yes, Dion's kid.
Should have been picked.
Cam Smith is injured.
And this is a bad decision by JT Daniels. He tried to force this one in there. Shiloh Sanders easily could have come up with that pick and gone the other direction with it. You see this right now. And Cam Smith actually ends up kind of, it looks like Smith gets a piece of this football with his right arm inadvertently. He ends up unintentionally breaking up the would-be interception of Sanders. It didn't even look like Burton was looking for the football yet.
10th play of the drive coming up. On 2nd and 15. Daniels to the end zone, and it's dropped. Burton had a hand on it.
He had a shot at it, though. As you mentioned, he drops this ball in there. There's some hand fighting along the boundary. Burton just couldn't quite corral this one. Had a shot at it, no doubt. They'll watch that one on film and know that they missed on that one. Working against Joey Hunter. Pressed into service with that injury to Cam Smith.
3rd down and 15 for Georgia. Must get to the 5-yard line. Edwards with the handoff, and he stopped inside the 15, down at the 14. Jalen Foster on the tackle. Gain of 11, this from 32 yards. And our new score is 38-10, Georgia.
Going forward.
Harris is a sophomore. Doty is a freshman, so start there on offense. Senior Nick Muse has been a bright spot on offense this year, and he's past the 45-yard line for a first down.
Nice move by Nick Muse. Not only you break a tackle right away, but then the reverse field. A couple of shallow cross and mesh right there, and runs right through a couple of Georgia defenders. He's had a good game.
Look, this play's blown up. Somehow, Zaquandre White, playing both ways tonight, was able to get to the sideline. The Georgia Bulldogs were there in the backfield as the handoff was made.
Well, that time the defensive line, they just jet up field right now. Jalen Carter, he's seen that play enough times at this point to kind of anticipate it. Blew up field and blew that whole mesh point and handoff up. And you see a lot of pulling guards in this game. And that penetration undid that play.
Well, Deshaun Fenwick tonight. Another grab by Muse, who's wrestled down at the 45-yard line by Seam. On 4th and 1, White moves the chains. It's kind of been the story of South Carolina's season. You got guys playing both ways. Will Muschamp, the head coach of the Gamecocks until 2 weeks ago, was talking about that all season. That just week after week, the issues they had with availability is just Jalen Brooks with no place to go, as Tyson Campbell takes him off his feet.
And that was just a bust. Tyson Campbell's supposed to be blocked by the inside receiver. It's part of the reason why Luke Doty, you see him kind of hitch. He wasn't setting that up for a pump fake. He looks out there and he's like, wait a second, you're supposed to be clean. Missed a blocking assignment out there at wide receiver.
Doty picked off. It's Campbell stepping in front, coming back the other way. Slips a tackle and is inside the 35-yard line. Tyson Campbell with his first interception of the season, the junior from Plantation, Florida.
He was on Jalen Brooks and he falls off of coverage, just reading the quarterback's eyes. Watch Luke Doty. He's trying to fit it in there, and Tyson Campbell just falls right underneath that throw.
It's a 40-yard return. It gives Georgia the football towards the end of the third quarter at the South Carolina 31. Back to the ground. McIntosh with those huge holes all night. This is 10 more.
Warren Erickson in there now. Offensive front and right guard for Georgia.
It's kind of hard to believe that given the back and forth this rivalry has created in the 20th century, especially in this decade, in the last 10 years with each team winning 5 times, this would be a get-right game for Georgia's ground game, but that's been what it is tonight. McIntosh stumbles but gets inside the 10-yard line. There's a flag down. White has 84 yards. McIntosh, depending on this call,
Holding. Offense number 50. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
he has 79 and Cook's over 100. Incredible performance by them tonight.
That's Warren Erickson. I just mentioned him in there. He rotates at times with Ben Cleveland at right guard. He's in there at center. It was around this part of the field in the previous drive where Georgia run the football well, ends up with a procedure penalty, a legal formation, now a holding penalty.
Georgia's going to take a 4-touchdown lead into the fourth quarter in this rivalry game between two old friends, Kirby Smart and Mike Bobo. Latest big play by the Dogs is an interception by Tyson Campbell. Gets to wear some hardware. Wow, how about that? Aggies defense all over LSU tonight. Here, JT Daniels, first play of the fourth quarter. Hello, touchdown all the way to the end zone. It's Arian Smith.
Smith on the Georgia touchdown.
And Smith looked like he was fired out of a rocket, out of a cannon, man. We were told by the coaches, make sure he is on your board. We're going to get a ball to him. And they did.
So I'm sure all Georgia fans that are watching, and I'm sure they've been doing this to you all week, given your legendary status with the school, but they've been asking, where was he? Why did it take so long? This is a mistake. White is going to be tackled. I guess they'll give him the 2-yard line. We'll get to Daniels in just a second, but nice tackle by Sherman, and they're going to mark this, let's see, at the 2. Wow.
Yeah.
Of course, you can call a fair catch anywhere inside the 25-yard line.
That's exactly what his coach is letting him know. Now you've got your offense backed up, little to no breathing room. And White's defense is big defense, big running back, there's returning kicks.
Amos, he'll give him breathing room. Stays on his feet near the 35-yard line.
Nice run of Rashad Amos.
I'm sure everybody was saying, gosh, that was great last week. He looked great. He looks great tonight. What took so long? Kirby Smart, yesterday in our call with him, gave some really level-headed perspective on the situation with JT Daniels and why it took until last week for him to start at quarterback.
You know, part of it was the guy was not even on the radar screen when he's getting his knee kind of repaired for the second go-round. Comes in to rehab his tail off. Athletic trainer Ron Corson said he'd never seen a guy beat him to the facility so consistently trying to get back out on the field.
It's pass to Muse, and Nick is in to Georgia territory.
Nick Muse on the reception.
And it took that time, I think, although he was medically cleared, was JT Daniels, he had to become ready to play. You know, just because you can play doesn't mean that you're actually ready to play. Another big one to the tight end for South Carolina. And so he kind of begged his way on to go down there and work with the scout team. Look, squad, face this defense. This isn't a good defense to build your confidence against, especially during summer camp. Todd Monken talked about it for all the quarterbacks. You almost wonder if that's what informed Jamie Newman's decision to tap out before the season even started. JT Daniels, coming off that injury, was kind of in limbo from a rehab standpoint before he landed here. As you see him talking with his receivers.
Well, and if you have two surgeries, and the second surgery you do it on your own when you're not still at USC, you haven't gotten to Georgia yet, can understand Kirby's concern, making sure I got to see if this guy's knee is okay before we really put him out there on the field. Nice pass by Doty again to Muse.
Big hit from Lewis Cine. Cine has to come out almost immediately. I don't know if it's an equipment issue or not, but remember he was in the concussion protocol after the game versus Florida.
Doty with a great job not giving the ball to Zaquandre White, and that's the athleticism that Mike Bobo was talking about. As Tyreek Stevenson makes the tackle inside the 25-yard line. Some injuries in camp. 2nd and 8. He bounces it outside, dives over, and then is tackled after a gain of maybe 1. It's Trayvon Walker.
Well, that's the most athletic run for no gain I've seen in a while. How about this hurdle? And he lands on his feet. It looks like, you know, a lot of times you'll see guys hurdle. They're going down. Yeah, they might get their feet back down for a little bit, but they're going to stagger to the ground. It looked to me like White was going to be able to gather himself and keep running if it weren't for Walker to make that tackle.
3rd and 7. You see Muse and Prentice move from one side of the line to the other. Doty keeps it himself and is out of bounds. He'll be shy of the first down. It'll be 4th and a couple as the fog is rolled into Columbia. Maybe by way of Oregon last night. You could barely see the field in that Beaver win over the Ducks last night, one coast to the other.
Thank goodness they were wearing highlighter jerseys. Otherwise, you were right, exactly right. Wouldn't be able to see the players on the field. South Carolina's been 100% tonight on 4th down. See if they can keep their perfect mark, 2 for 2.
Doty sprints out to Muse, a career night, and it's a touchdown.
Another impressive drive for South Carolina. Nick Muse, what a night he's had. He's up in the end zone again and repeatedly. We've talked about it, no Shi Smith. They had to have somebody pop up. Nick Muse has been there, but he hasn't been the primary, and tonight as is often the case, found ways to get him the football, and he's capitalized.
Extra point is partially blocked. No good. Jalen Carter, I believe, got a hand on it. 11-play, 98-yard touchdown drive is the graduate transfer from William and Mary, Nick Muse. Biggest night of his career. Simply take a knee.
Yeah.
That's what they'll do. Well, and that just shows the class that Kirby Smart has and the appreciation that he has for his old teammate Mike Bobo. 45-16, the final tonight. Number 9 Georgia improves to 6-2 on the season with a decisive victory.
Couple old friends, former teammates, shaking hands at midfield. JT Daniels off a fantastic debut, a more workmanlike approach here tonight on what was a dominating rushing performance by the Georgia offense versus a beleaguered South Carolina roster, just decimated not only by injury, opt-outs, and COVID.
And 4 tailbacks that had over 75 yards rushing, and he ended the game on a drive that lasted over 9 minutes.
Literally just draining it down. But that was the story of the night, and it started early. Had a couple of big explosive plays on that opening possession, but then very quickly, the Georgia rushing attack that did not even exist a week ago really emerged. You see a collection of quarterbacks there: Ryan Helinski, Colin Hill, JT Daniels, greeting one another at the end of this one. It's a rivalry, there's no doubt. After last year,
well, a lot of these kids played together in high school too. I mean, with all the South Carolina kids that are from the state of Georgia that Will Muschamp recruited. Back for more in just a moment as the Dogs beat the Gamecocks 45-16.